Good evening. My name is Dr. Michelle Maxfield, and I am a teacher at Chatham Middle School. I am very blessed and honored to be named Chatham Middle School's 22-23 Teacher of the Year. So that's kind of why I stand here before you. I have been asked by some of my colleagues, some of my community members, and some of the families to kind of speak on the year-round school. So we understand that year-round school is something that is being considered for the Siler City feeder pattern, and we just wanted to kind of put some points out for you to think about as you consider that. As the families and the staff members have watched the videos and the presentations, there were a few questions that we had. One question was about the fact that the 3 schools that are being considered are low-performing schools. That is definitely the case for Chatham Middle. Chatham Middle has been a low-performing school for nearly a decade now. But for Siler City Elementary School and Virginia Cross, both of those schools had pulled themselves out of low-performing pre-COVID. Unfortunately, have slid back into low-performing status since COVID, but we did want to just kind of make that point that the 3 schools have not really historically been low-performing schools because those 2 schools had been able to pull themselves out. Another point that we'd asked that you kind of clarify or to look into was that it was suggested that this came from principals and leaders in the district. As a doctoral student, my study was principal turnover and teacher turnover. And looking at the 3 schools that are being considered, we have had principal turnover in all 3 of those schools in the last 5 years, as well as high teacher turnover rates. So we just wanted to kind of clarify who are the leaders that have asked that we look into this, and are they still even with our school district? Another thing that was suggested in the presentation was that work life has changed for many people, and work life may have changed for a lot of people outside of Siler City. But no family members that I have worked with or have been in communication with have the privilege of working from home. Most of our families do still work outside of the home, so we ask that when you're considering year-round schools for the Siler City Feeder District, that looking at the fact that the families work from home really not be considered, because we don't have families that work from home in our district. The next thing was about research. We were fortunate as teachers when it was presented to us to receive some research. Most of the research that we received was dated research, and we asked in the presentation to be presented with more recent, current, and relevant research, maybe some research that had to do with North Carolina or some districts that were more like us. And some of the research that we found, and I say we, I'm including myself, family members, and colleagues, we did share that information with Dr. Moran, so I know that she'll be able to share that with you as well. But a lot of the more current and relevant, we consider relevant research, is indicating that year-round schools may not be the first step that we need to look at when we look at what we need to do to help these schools. There were a lot of other things I had to say, but I see my lights getting ready to blink. Questionnaires was the other big thing that I was asked to speak to you guys about. We do know that we've reached out to our families with questionnaires, but a lot of the families in the Siler City feeder pattern are Hispanic, and they have reached out to us and said that they cannot access the survey. They don't know where to go to look for the survey. They don't have computers. They don't have internet. And so we're just asking that as RTI collects the data and collects the research to present back to the board, that as you consider that we make sure that we are asking our families and making sure that they have an opportunity to give their voice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can leave that with Ms. Talley and she'll get us a copy or email it to her.
I just have notes, but I would be glad to send something written to Dr. Moran.
And that way we'll have all the others on there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I
Thanks,
appreciate it.
ma'am.